the liquid.
Oh, maybe. Oh,
okay, cool.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our Twitch stream today. As
Yeah.
you may notice, Dom is not here. We have replaced him with another bearded gentleman.
The bearded understudy.
Yes.
Unbeer study.
I've been told to just call him Big Dom.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big Dom. I don't know what accent that was, but it was, yeah.
Dom's hair looks fantastic today.
Actually, we just, he's heading over to Japan, I think.
Yeah.
So we just shaved him and glued it to my face, which is why it's a little weird looking. Yeah.
A little
hobo-y.
Yes, so this is
Star Wolf.
Nathan, as they've given away. Nathan.
Yeah. Hi there.
Tell them about your role here at the studio.
Yeah, so I am a production coordinator. So I am the littlest, babyest producer at Blind Squirrel. And so I worked on Drifters for almost a year and a half, and now I'm working on a couple of things that I can't say anything about.
We're not allowed to talk about. And then he felt, Dom was gone, so any person that's going to replace Dom also has to replace the booze he's bringing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have a themed cocktail.
Yeah, sort of.
Or
so
did we theme it?
I mean, loosely. We're talking about Magni, who is engineer, prominently sports orange. So I was like, well, we'll make an orange drink. That was his theme to Sakat.
His theme to Sakat.
Theme.
So as you can see, Dom, when he comes back, he'll have to redo the themed Magni drink.
Yeah.
But she has a lot to do with metal, though. So I don't know.
I'm not sure, a metallic mixed drink. Maybe those shimmery, shiny ones.
I suggested mercury, but no one wanted to drink that. So. But we also are going to be, so today we're going to talk to Nathan a little bit about the way back Drifters, since he was there from the beginning, and how far it's come, how it's changed the development process, stuff like that. We're going to introduce Magni, but we're also going to talk a little bit about Borderlands. So I know that there's some people wanting some, there's been a lot of questions about what the new Borderlands entails, what upgrades there are. So if you have questions, shout them out now, because we can start with Borderlands. We figured you guys would prefer that. But if you guys aren't here yet, and oh my God, Borderlands. Wait a sec. You guys don't count. I know you two people. No, but I've seen on social media there's been a lot of questions related to Borderlands. So if you guys have questions ready, ask us. We'll do our best.
Right.
I've asked one of the producers to possibly be involved on the chat for any questions that we can't answer. There's some stuff though that we just don't know for what with the final release, because we've done certain parts of it.
Right.
Gearbox and 2K have done certain parts of it, and so there's stuff from their end that we might not have answers to. There's stuff that might have changed before, so there's some questions that we may not have answers to.
Yeah.
But
we would love to. I mean, if there's anything we don't have answers to, we would love to get those answers out.
Yes.
Get those out to you guys.
So we'll try.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're gonna do is, are we gonna talk to Borderlands? Do we have Borderlands queued up first?
Sure.
For some images? Okay, so, here we go. What did Blind Squirrel work on for the Borderlands HD? Well, there's a lot of various things. I mean, we can show you some images of the, adding HDR and bloom, the improved texture quality, stuff like that. There's a lot of various things. I can't speak to the specifics. I just know that there was just a lot of stuff throughout.
Yeah,
and
I mean, a lot of it was, of course, up-resing a pretty old game to current gen consoles. So I wasn't on the team, but I was working late nights alongside them, so I got to see all the cool stuff they were working on. And then also making sure that when you're trying to play with your friends, that you can do that in a fun way. And
yeah, I know that. Let's see, we have a lot of stuff with. It is going to be on PC. People were asking about that. It's going to be on PlayStation 4, and it's going to be on Xbox One. and the 2K store.
Right.
But actual physical copies of the game are available, but only in the U.S. So I know that some people were asking like why the equivalent of GameStop in Australia, their biggest franchise, hadn't heard about it, and it's because it's only going to be digitally available outside the U.S. So that's one thing. And
as far as answering more of the question, unfortunately, that's one of those things where we are like really trying to make sure that we're like in lockstep with everything that like 2K is saying, so that we're pretty limited on like what we can.
Well, yeah, we just want to make sure that they have the first say and stuff like
absolutely.
that. So
because
but we can show, this was approved by them. We can show some of the stuff that we did, some before and after, really making it more high res.
I actually really miss having it in the studio because it was really cool to see. Like, I'm a huge Borderlands fan, so it was really cool to see like late at night, like as I'm working on Drifter stuff, to like look up and just see all like explosions and skags being brutally murdered. It was great. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Star Wolf.
That's the name of the game in our industry, the NDA.
NDA is our next title.
I'm gonna make like
so meta.
I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna pitch. Some meta game called NDA.
NDA simulator.
That's like
2020.
There's this game called the Stanley Parable.
Right.
That's like this total meta game.
It's so good.
One of my favorite games ever. It just totally messes with your head.
Yeah,
you have like an existential crisis by the end of it.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
Yeah. Well, you can get a trophy for that. There was a trophy that if you didn't play it for over 3 years, you got a trophy.
Oh, I love it.
I think I've gotten the trophy by now. I should go back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the images are some before and afters of a lot of rock work in Borderlands.
Well, we rock. So.
Yes, you rock. Seen I Heart Huckabees?
What's that?
I Heart Huckabees?
I haven't.
That was one of my favorite movies. So, you have it on the... And see, we're right in front of it. But our art director, James, he was showing us like this rock that we're sitting right in front of. Really, if you can, it's kind of dark. That's the only issue. As you can see, like a lot of the HD stuff. Except Eric is just messing with this screen now. Sorry. There we go.
Man, I wish I could move like that. Just like sitting.
Teleport.
Someone drags and drops.
By the way, we
didn't
cheers.
Oh, that's right. I just started tucking in.
Congrats to
like a dirty alky.
The release of Borderlands.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to
well,
the
tomorrow,
upcoming and however many months of Drifters.
Yeah, exactly. And
so yeah, if you show the like before, let's see the rock. You can see there's like a lot of the hand painted rock detail that was more high res. It's just too dark to kind of tell.
We can see it.
You can see it? Okay. It's just hard from our angle, I guess. But yeah, so a lot of fine details on this remaster. I'm trying to think of some of the other questions that I wrote down some. Let's see. A popular question is asking if there was going to be an FOV slider. And yes, there is a FOV slider in this one. Where you can get it: PlayStation download, Xbox One, Steam for PC, 2K store, and physical copies in the US only. And it does come out April 3rd, tomorrow. I know that there were some people in countries outside the US where it was April 3rd today, and they're like, "Where the hell is it?" Because it's being made in America.
Sorry, everyone else.
We should say like April 3rd, U.S. time.
It was an April Fool's joke.
I mean, April Fools.
It was a late,
Blind Squirrel worked on the multiplayer aspect, right? What did that involve? Actually.
Beyond making sure that could happen, like there were a lot of compatibility things that needed to be fixed in order to make sure that some of the basic systems that you come to expect from a game would still work. And beyond just, making it work, I'm not entirely sure, but that's one of those questions that we can get back to you on.
Yeah, I can ask our producer, Matt, what that actually involved, because I'm not sure. I know that there is, now a multiplayer aspect. A lot of the stuff that we know is just what is going into the new game, not exactly the mechanics of getting them in there. And I mean, some stuff is stuff that, was swapped off between studios. So it will release at 12 tonight for later on in the day. I haven't been told an exact time. We at the studio, sorry if I just hit that mic. We at the studio have only been told April 3rd, just like the rest of you. So new weapons and enemies were added to the game. I know that there's new skins.
Okay.
I don't know if there's new weapons and enemies. I know that there's skins added.
Do you know? I don't know where we're at on NDA on that stuff. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying they announced that at the announcement thing.
They announced new skins?
They announced skins, so.
Play the game and find out.
But as far as the other stuff, I'm not sure. But we also have,
Gearbox announced skins? Okay.
Yeah, Gearbox did announce skins.
Thank you, Starwolf. Announced.
And that's why I said it. See, that's the thing. We're also tiptoeing around. There's some stuff that you need to find out when you buy it.
Yeah.
But actually, that being said, there's also stuff that is there's some people playing it right now that we've found on Twitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some people that have some early access keys that were...
If they're on Twitch, then okay.
Yeah, no, but they're promoted by 2K or Gearbox. It's legit. Yeah. Eric was looking because he's like, "Why are there people playing it right now?" So
well, then I mean, we did add new weapons. I don't know if we added new enemies, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
So if there are people
enemies
playing it, I assume that's fine to say.
Yeah, no, there's people out there, and I don't know who any of them are. But if you do some search for Borderlands stuff, I'm sure you could see some people playing it right now. That have been specifically chosen by 2K. Mm-hmm. Let's see, what other cool stuff? I know that there's, it has cross functionality, so you can export your Xbox 360 and PS3 saves to Xbox One and PS4 and PC.
Right. And that was a huge undertaking by the team. Like, that was one of those things that was like, some of my friends at the studio who I've worked with on other projects, like, when we were talking about that, the initial response was like, "Oh, like that can't be done," and they were like, "We're gonna make it happen." So, okay, cool. I'm glad. I didn't want to like say that if that was incorrect, but like the.
That's what our producer has told me, that it has cross functionality.
Yeah, so that was a really big undertaking.
It was achieved.
Yeah, we were really excited. We were really excited that we were able to bring that to the fans of the franchise. So like we have people in the studio who just have put so many hours into the original game, and it's cool. People like that don't have to lose all of their progress.
Right. And there was also something about someone asked about trophies changing and stuff, and I guess the only trophy that changed was a viral trophy that was on the PS3 called Game Fame. And I guess you had to actually be playing with one of the devs from like Gearbox to even get the trophy or something. So they said you can reach platinum again. So I think things like hats and heads were added along color changes. Yeah, there's different different skin stuff. I saw some of the changes to some of the weapons. So those were pretty cool.
Yeah, the team was really excited to be putting those together. Yeah, I mean that's the cool thing about what we do here is that like you get to work on these franchises that you love playing, and you get to like maybe even add a little bit of your own like personal touch to it. Cool.
Right, and yeah, that's another thing I hear people talk about with just porting in general is just seeing, not only getting to work on something that you yourself have loved, but seeing how it works, or how they did this. Right. I know Dom talks about that all the time, like, oh, this is how they did, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that it's kind of a double-edged sword. Some people would rather be doing their own titles and stuff, but there's pros and cons to both sides of the gaming world.
Definitely. And also about the feeling that the multiplayer thing was a vague question, Mr. West. Don't worry about it. Ask us all the vague questions. We'll answer as best we can.
Our answers are equally as vague.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now. So for Borderlands stuff, I'm just trying to think of other questions that I've gotten. Armory glitches, saying that we'll have to wait and see. So maybe I shouldn't have even mentioned that. I'm like, armory glitches. Oh, wait and see. Because our producer was unsure about the armory glitches.
Right.
Because like I said, we're all working on this together. Everyone's got different aspects. So let's see. I mean, it seems like everyone's kind of quieted down about Borderlands. We can come back to it at the end with more questions. As you can see, Eric's been cycling through our before. Borderlands Vague of the Year edition. Yes, until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a little bit, though. I'm going to segue to Nathan. Tell us a little bit about your background with Drifters, which is our first ever IP.
Yeah. All right. So, kind of something that Mimi referenced is that sometimes it can be a lot of fun to work on other people's titles, and you get to kind of take something that you've already loved and as a fan, and then become a creator for this thing that you're a big fan of. So that's really cool. But also, it's really cool to make something for yourself. So Blind Squirrel, about a year and a half ago, decided to start that process, and so I kind of I'm really into making new IP and stuff like that. So I volunteered to help out with that when that was still forming. And so originally we were what became Drifters was based on a kind of game jam-esque game. Game jam's like a game made in a really short period, like a 48-hour period of time or something like that. For those of you who don't know what a game jam is.
We've done one here once. And everyone, you take a day.
Yeah, you take a day, you don't sleep, you just slam coffee into your face like it's a weapon.
And everyone has teams.
Everyone has teams.
And you come up with a game.
Yeah, you come up with a game, and they're usually they're usually weird and kooky games. And there was this one that was really cool. And that game got adopted as a game jam. Yeah, they're really cool. And so one of them had some really kind of engaging game elements. It was in space, and you would kind of fight for control over these planets, almost like Mario Galaxy-esque style planets, and that kind of became a project that was developed further by some people who were part-time beyond just a short concentrated dev cycle, game jam style. And so that became what was originally called Supermass. That project was. And that was, it was in space, and you were kind of fighting for control over these planets, and you also had this really cool grappling hook system that was a really huge component of traversing around the game, traversing around the world, and also messing with your opponents.
And so far, are really the only two elements that have gone from that is it's space and the grapple, are the main two things that we took from that for what we have now.
Yeah, and that's,
there was no loot or anything like that yet.
No. Yeah, there wasn't any. Oh,
that's the guy that loves Dom. We have Captain Crispy here.
Hi, I know I'm no Dom, but I hope that I can, assuage your grief at his temporary absence. His beard is hopefully
as satisfying as Dom's to you.
Do we host for the goal of setting up new IP, or is it just for fun? Both. So we have initiatives to foster new IP. We have initiatives to foster both people's creativity, because that's a helpful thing to foster just as a studio culture thing, and then but also the hope is that these people will take these games to thanks for the host, Captain Crispy.
Yes, thank you.
So satisfied.
He passed the test.
So I will get to your question in just a second. No jail time. So we do game jam stuff both to give people a creative outlet, because for the most part we are a porting house. So people aren't like the
creating their own content.
Yeah, they're not like creating their own content
we
from
also
scratch.
have something called Recess that we do here, where it's an hour on Fridays where you can get together with whoever you want and work on a game and work on something. And the executives here are really open to you taking the idea, and they work with people on possibly fostering that as a new possibility of an idea.
So to answer your question, JRC West, JRC West. It's really both. It's really cool for the workplace, and you get to have. It's also a cool way to interact with people outside of your immediate development team, because you get to meet people from disciplines other than your own, and also who aren't working on the same projects as you, and you guys come together to make a cool new passion project.
And even sometimes they're even board games. It's like games. Like we have someone here working on this really intricate board game.
Oh
right
yeah,
now. John.
Dude, yeah, it's so but it's good though. It's really insane. Good, and he's just been play testing it for hundreds of hours with all of these professional game developers, and it's really cool.
So the game genre.
Yeah, the game genre, right?
Is a 5v5 hero action shooter.
Right. So it's a 5v5 objective based kind of brawler third-person shooter. Yes, he does. Almost everyone like comes in clean shaven, and then the beard accumulates.
Every man has a beard at some point. Hell, I have a beard here at some point. It's just gaming life.
Yeah. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time and trying to get more info on what Drifters is, it's a 5v5.
The hero action shooter is what we emphasize, because it's kind of they wanted to emphasize the arcadey elements and stuff. So Smash Brothers was an inspiration, but also Overwatch. So it's kind of combining a couple genres in one. Yeah. It's based around looting. Every character, and it's also based around these really unique characters. And each character has its own grapple and its own drift pack, so that you can kind of drift around. And you know, whereas in a lot of other games, the grapple is kind of something that you can. It's an option. It's not like everyone doesn't have one. So you use this for traversal, and you can use it as a weapon. You can throw people off. So one of the goals is also to, you know, it's not just shooting everyone trying to get the loot. You can throw people off the map, and there's different skills. We have snipers. We have the healer elements and stuff like that. That's going to be coming in later.
Like support plans. Characters are in the works.
So you don't have to be the best. They wanted to make sure you didn't just win this game by being the best shooter. That you can strategize as well. Yeah.
No, it's a third person camera. Well, it's like over the shoulder. I think we should call it second person, but that's just me. So
and we also, if you're interested, we have driftersgame.com. And there is a place to sign up for our email list where we'll be doing updates, and has a bunch of info on the game. And also, the big thing about signing up for those updates is you're the first people to hear about beta testing when it comes time to that. So I just tell everyone, we don't spam a lot. You know, we've got one main email right now, and then as it progresses, we'll be sending out more. But we're not sending you stuff every day. It's basically just some updates about the game, and then eventually we're going to say, hey, we need beta testers. Come sign up. So worth it.
And so for Captain Crispy, is there a campaign? So right now, there isn't a campaign being developed. So right now, there isn't a campaign being developed. The idea there is that we really want to focus on that team play experience, and a campaign like with creating AI and spending time on story, and then like the QA time. We really wanted to narrow our focus. We don't have a giant team on the project, so we really wanted to narrow our focus so that what we delivered was the best that we could. So that's where we're focusing on the multiplayer part for now.
We're expanding though. Like
Yeah,
we're hiring like crazy.
Yeah,
so
we're
if you
hiring
know
like
of anyone,
crazy.
go to blindsquirrelgames.com/careers,
Right.
and we have so many positions
Yeah,
because we
please.
finally got full funding for this, and we're trying to make it the best game possible. So we're getting the best people possible. We've got some exciting new ones.
Yeah,
that we'll
definitely.
announce
We'll
next
be
week.
announcing those next week because we have
Some
hires
cool
coming in
people on the project.
Cool.
I'm excited to see gameplay in the future. Seems like a cool idea. I kept forgetting to sign up for the newsletter. Well, sign up, yeah. But yeah, eventually that's the other thing. We'll bring you here. Eventually you'll be seeing gameplay and stuff once we feel confident that it is as fantastic as it can be.
Is a
BR mode more likely?
Yeah, is a battle royale mode more likely than a campaign?
No, we're staying away from that.
We're probably going to stay away from something like that for now.
I know our designer he's not pleased with the battle royale stuff.
Yeah,
so we'll see. Right now it's a no.
It's one of those things where we like everyone's doing it, and we want to focus on like one of the really challenging things about making your own game is understanding like this is going to sound like a weird kind of cheesy thing to say, but like understanding what your game is and really just focusing on that, because like you'll get a lot of games that they'll get a campaign shoved in when it's not necessary or multiplayer shoved in when it's not necessary, and it does dilute the game. So we're really just trying to focus on we this 5v5 experience. You're coming in, you're looting, you're like everyone's working together towards the same goal. So like the battle royale mode, we feel like it doesn't really fit
the game
right now.
Right.
And if that changes in the future, we'll let you guys know.
I really like the way you explained that. A salmon, you say? Did you say anything about salmon?
I mean, if I did, it was a Freudian slip. I'm a little hungry, and I do love salmon.
What kind of Freudian slip would that be? What would Freud say about salmon? Where am I going with that?
Your mother was a salmon.
Anywho, we're only senior and lead.
For the most part.
Only senior and lead positions right now.
Although for engineers, if you've got really good 3D math skills and additionally graphics programming experience, like good graphics programming experience, we're also looking at that. Dom's gone for 2 weeks, so I'm really excited to see his inbox just go.
But yeah, right now it's all senior and lead. We need a lot of those, but that's not to say in the future that there's not going to be junior positions. Right. Same with QA. I know people have been asking about QA. That's something that could open up later. So there's some weird stuff going on in our chat right now.
Yeah.
But let's.
Sounds like we should make a salmon character.
Salmon slapping with salmon.
Skin.
Dom's position open while he's gone. Well, that's
why I'm here. Yeah, exactly. I have no engineering experience to speak of, but I'm now engineering manager for 2 weeks.
So we've been showing you some characters throughout the weeks, introducing. So let's show Magni, our new character to show. The last week was Resistor. We did showed you Ziggy. So Magni, let's see. Eric's queuing up some pictures. So Magni is kind of our eccentric mechanic, and she has magnetic forces, and improvisational invention is a couple of her main things. But her weapon, the weapon there, let's see. There's a good color one.
Yeah. This is that thing. It's flipped for us, so.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she has her weapon is the blade Slinger. It fires out spinning deadly blades. But the cool part is that when you hit reload, they're always the same blades, because when you hit reload, because she's magnetic, they come back to her. And so you hit people on the way out and on the way back in.
Yeah.
So you get them twice. When she recalls all of her blades, they can be stuck in people all over the map, and then she pulls them back in, and they duck because they'll be flying back through the air.
Yeah, I'm really excited for someone to like walk into a room and they see Magni and they're like, haha, Magni, and then they see her just reload and they're like, oh no.
So yeah, she's got all sorts of, her main thing, Magni, is magnetism-based elements and abilities.
Wait, where does her name come from? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like, so the idea with Magni was that for those people who enjoy the is damage less than on the initial hit? I don't know, actually.
That's a question. I'll write that down and ask our lead designer.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard whether or not. I don't know if that's actually something that's been finalized yet.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I would guess no. So usually when you're designing something like this, you ask the engineers to give you all of these variables that you can tweak, so you can decide what the damage is, even like what the projectile speed is on the way out versus the way back. So usually you're asking for those set of things to be controllable by design. So that's like, as far as game balance, that's really a game balance question, which really is going to be, that'll probably be changing even while we're live, just because that's how game balancing works. You're always tweaking things to make sure you have the best experience possible. So actually for Wellmel, sorry, I don't know if it's Wellmel or Welly Melly. I like Welly Melly better, so we're going to go with that. So Melly.
What was his choice of typo for the logo?
Oh, why this choice of
do you mean the
type for the logo?
Do you mean the typeface?
Oh.
Or the font? I'm not sure, because I don't see the typo. Elaborate, and hopefully we can answer it for you.
I was not involved at all with the logo thing, so I'm not sure. But yeah, so like, this character is really here to appeal to the people who they want to like plan ahead for engagements. They want to like they want to spend a few seconds to make sure that they have a really advantageous position in the next fight, and that's what this character is about. So she can set up turrets.
That's her first, the scrapper turrets. So they're short-lived, but she can construct them on the fly and stick them to surfaces, or they'll just stay in the air.
Right. She can also, we have turrets throughout the map, like neutral turrets on the ship. Like the ship's security systems is also a factor that you have to deal with in the game. So you come on and all the turrets are like shooting at you as you're like flying onto the ship. And I go like this because you shoot yourself out of a cannon. So everyone's going to like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, that's how you get on the map. You're shot out of a cannon.
And yeah, it's like, Mario 64 style. And so Magni is able to interact with those, like repair those really quickly. So she's really good at like setting up an area and being like, this is my house now. And so for the players who like that kind of that setup play, she doesn't have to be static to do it, because we keep the refresh speeds pretty low on things so that you can, like, you're not just stuck in one place in a game that has really high mobility. But yeah, so that's kind of who this character is for the most part.
And then we also have Captain Crispy asked, how many different kinds of controls would there be? I don't know that.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. Just like that's what her ult. That's what she says for her ult. She's like, I don't remember how old the character is.
Okay. Well, I mean the uneven spaces between the letters. Drifting.
Yeah, they're drifting apart. The kerning is drifting. So how many different kinds of controls would there be? I'm not sure. So currently, at least last time I checked, we had a few different control presets for gamepad and PC. I don't know how much of those are going to go into live. I don't know if we're headed towards having fully customizable control schemes. So I need to.
It's a question for a later date.
Yep, absolutely.
And for our lead designer, because eventually we're going to have another episode where we take all the questions that we can't answer, and we'll have Del back on, our lead designer, and he'll kind of answer some of those.
So make sure to save all of your engineering architecture questions for Del.
Oh, our tech guy, Eric, is bummed that he only got a sip of the drink because he's new to this. He doesn't know we make one for Eric, too.
I didn't know.
So he's shaking his glass at us because he only got a shot.
I was a bad person and did not make enough. I didn't make enough to share for the whole class, so.
Yes.
This is just water now.
So yeah, we have also. Is that Magni's drift pack? Actually, I've always asked that question. Like on the
back,
the right,
sorry,
like
on the
okay,
side. So this right here, this is the idea for her turret. So the idea is that she can throw it anywhere, and it'll stick onto walls. And I don't know if it has functionality beyond that. At one point, we were talking about it having additional functionality other than just sticking to walls, but I don't know.
Well, this is not. Are these the scrapper turrets?
Yeah.
So they do hover at a distance.
Okay, cool. So you can just
if you throw them out into the air.
I know. Eric does not have a beard. Eric doesn't have a beard.
No, Eric
he's working
does
on
not.
It.
We're gonna, more beards needed. Eric. Yeah, this is why he stays behind the camera. He knows he'll disappoint you with his beardlessness.
No.
His fresh-shaven face will just sadden Captain Crispy. And Eric, that's, by the way, Eric saying sorry to you for not having a beard. So let's see, what up? Oh, we also have her second ability is her armor up. So she gives teammates a boost of armor because she's all metal and magnetism. So she can give your teammates a boost.
Yeah, she has some additional support elements that other characters don't. Kind of what you would expect from like the engineer archetype that you've come to see in games like Team Fortress and stuff like that.
Why are you raising your hand out, Eric?
I just wanted to make sure you're not going to shake it in front of the mic.
I'll like shake it far away from the mic. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So she also, her super is the debris vortex.
Right.
And so she pulls a swarm of debris and like metal shards up from the ground, and it acts as a damaging barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And she can fire her blade slinger into it to increase damage potential. So you get this vortex of scraps and metal shards and all this dangerous stuff, and then she fires her other shards into it, and then it's just death.
The invisible hands
are death. Nathan's bartender. So we have drinks with Dom and Nathan's bartending corner.
Yeah, I like it. Nathan's, mine is the prep school of bartending. Dom's is the master class.
Okay, so here we have some more models of Magni before we painted her outfit orange, apparently.
Yeah.
And then so we also, because we talked about doing some concept art, because a lot of our characters, if you've seen the previous streams, we show some of the earlier concept art. And Magni, when I asked our art department for the concept, they said Magni was probably one of the most fully formed characters. Like our former concept artist, Dan Glassell, came in and just went, Magni, and it was done.
Like,
there was,
like he came in, and then when he first joined the team, and then the next week we had a bit of concept, like a piece of concept that we could start creating. Super awesome beard alcohol. That's because I spill. That's because I'm really clumsy. So yeah, it was cool and that's one of the things that was cool to see on Drifters is like the vision of the project coming together in such a way so that we could like point at an objective and the team could go and the team could just like nail it on like the first try essentially. And that happened with Magni. Cool.
Magni was there because there's a lot of trial and error on the other ones, or just
which is normal.
Not really. I guess it is trial and error, but it's more just finding your way. I think of it as kind of chiseling away, like at a sculptor. It's like no, it's not there, and then you keep forming it until it whittles down to the perfect form. Magni was just already there on the page. Let's see. What do we have? Do we have another one? We have more of the models with her. You can see her drift pack. Let's see her grapple.
So her grapple.
Scrap electromagnet.
Right.
Grapple.
So right now we're still developing what. So characters' grapples they all have these different traits. So for example, Resistor's grapple, it takes someone and just flings them over his shoulder. So he can use that to just like throw people long distances, launch them off the ship. Ziggy's
is like his hand. It's kind of like that claw thing, but it's the gas.
Right. I don't remember if we.
I don't know what it does.
If we've settled on that, we're still developing that. So Magni's for interacting with loot and for interacting with kind of pickup objects, because you can pick up armor and health and shield packs throughout the map. And so her grapple principally is more adept at picking those things up, so it has a wider pickup radius, so you can potentially pick up more loot more quickly, more health, armor, shield packs.
It's like a bell-shaped magnet too.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just like a big magnet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more on the mechanics side, so Mimi has more of an insight into like the story. So how does the whole loot system work? So the idea with our kind of leading game mode currently that we're working on, Plunder, is that it's not like a payload mission. It's not a capture the flag mission. It's not a deathmatch scenario where you're just trying to get the most kills. The idea for Plunder and the loot system is this way of creating like a lot of objectives throughout the map for you to fight over and feel cool when you're grabbing that stuff. So basically, in our current map, Stranded, it's this cargo ship with all these valuables on it, and these two ships have come in at the same time to try to salvage it and get all the valuables off of the ship. And so you guys cannon over, and then you just go through, and you're using your grapple to tear doors off of cargo containers and get all the loot. You're blowing up containers.
Well, in each loot, there's different types of loot. Mm-hmm. There's tech loot. There's like a chemical type loot. So there's like 5 different types of loot, and each can do different things. Right. Like, so tech loot. Yeah. So if you get enough of certain things, that also can it adds
that can give you certain bonuses as well.
Right, because they wanted to make sure that anything that you could, since it's the free-to-play model and stuff, we're not doing like other games where there's stuff that you have to spend a shit ton of money on.
Right.
There's nothing in this game that you can't earn through actual gameplay. Yeah. There's not going to be some magical unicorn thing that you have to spend all this money on. You can put in the hours and the time and get the loot to achieve that.
So basically the way that the loot system works is there's loot just throughout the environment. Like you can blow up crystals, you can blow up barrels, you can interact with things, and so you're rushing through the ship trying to grab all of this loot that's kind of just part of the environment. And then what you have to do is someone who gets a really important artifact, like one of the artifacts that are kind of hidden throughout the map and randomly generated, so it's always kind of a different setup each time. So you get an artifact, and then you go to a location where you can call in a drone, and the drone will come in, and the drone will pick up that loot. But while you're doing that, your enemies can destroy the drone, and drones will keep coming in until it gets scored, but they can destroy the drone. They can also interact with with your kind of beacon, and they can hack it so that they've stolen, like now the beacon is calling in drones from their team, so that like if their drone comes in and successfully gets away.
There's all different ways to screw up your thing.
Yeah, there's all sorts of ways, and it's this really fun, chaotic mess, and we've definitely like that's the point where everyone kind of crushes in, and it becomes this hilarious like morass of just people killing each other, blowing up drones, trying to hack it, getting thrown away by people's grappling hooks. And then it's awesome.
Someone also asked, are there any competitive elements being added to multiplayer, like leaderboards, ranks, matchmaking, etc.?
Everything that you've listed, as far as I'm aware, is being actively developed. Yeah. Definitely leaderboards, definitely ranks, definitely. So like matchmaking in the sense of a competitive matchmaking system, I believe so. Like we're definitely putting in some systems so that when I was on the project, we were definitely like in talks about how we develop that system. I don't know where that's at right now. Because I'm not like one-to-one as up-to-date as I used to be.
There's definitely talks. There was talk. I'm pretty sure that it's all staying the same. But that's a question that I'll ask Del exactly what of those
definitely.
things that we're implementing.
We'll get back to you on like what the plans are for that. As far as like, sorry.
Oh no. Well, yeah, someone said loot is like points.
Points is a win. Yeah, exactly. So we're still trying to figure out what the best win condition is. We're still balancing that. So we're still trying to figure out like, okay, what is the most fun way to win and also lose, right? Like we don't want, like I know it sounds like a weird thing, but one of the big things that we want to do with this game is that like that every game is a fun game. Like that you're not running into games where because you like it's like a 45-minute game, but 10 minutes in that you're going to lose, and it's just like a 45-minute, like a 35-minute additional grind, and you're just like slowly losing the game.
Well, and that's why they also wanted to make that there's a lot of different ways to win.
Right.
That's something that Dell stressed, was that there's a lot of ways that, like there's a lot of games that when it's just based on who's the best shooter,
right,
then it's going to be the same person winning every single time.
Right.
Or just an elite few. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to make sure our game had enough different characters and different ways. There's a bunch of stuff, like there's stuff that we haven't talked about too, that is just different cool ways to strategize and win, so that it's not just the person that has all the hours in the world to hone their shooting ability, and everyone else is screwed.
So like Dell was like a competitive old school Quake player, so he has those amazing Twitch aiming skills, and that's sort of like his background. But he's brought in this really cool thing where people of all sorts of levels of experience can have a real impact on the game. And like in playtesting, we've definitely had things where like the people with like the least experience are making like these really clutch plays, and it's really fun. And so it's this game that's like it's actually still really fun to lose. Like, yeah.
The difference between her rough model and the more detailed looking one is really impressive.
I'm not sure which one that is. That could be high res versus res versus low poly. Either way, the character team is great.
Hi. We're getting stared at by our CEO is staring in the window.
Who is the silliest guy, and it's fantastic.
He's sitting there going,
do we take suggestions? I mean, sure. Like,
you can shout them out.
Yeah, you can shout them out, and
we're pretty far along in the game, but there's still a lot to do as well. So there's always it depends on what your suggestion is.
Yeah. Will there be training grounds for those people who want to get better at shooting? I don't know. We have.
I think he was joking.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's a legit question.
Yeah, I think it's a legit question too. I mean, so
that I haven't heard anything about.
So yeah, like we have our own internal testing thing for. We have our own maps for internal testing. I don't know about. And I don't know what features we're putting in place for a solo practice session right now.
Right. See, I would need that.
I have a feeling the suggestion will be more beards.
I have a feeling that would be it too. Do we have any bearded characters?
Currently,
we're gonna have to add some more bearded characters. What?
I mean, yeah, we have some cool skins that are being worked on, but
we don't want to give any of those away.
We don't want to give any of those away. Yeah.
No, this is that one. Oh, it went away. The picture that was before, I think that's the Magni right now that we have. Have you added a team forfeit option?
No, we haven't added a team forfeit option, and I don't know that I haven't heard that be talked about. Just a beard character. I mean, that wouldn't actually be.
I hope there's a beard.
Out
there
of tone. Yeah, we haven't. I haven't heard any discussions about a forfeit option, but that's something that we can ask about for sure.
Yeah, I'll ask Dell about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any more cool Magni stuff. The grapple, and then her passive is the repair intuition.
Did you have any of the narrative stuff about her that you wanted to go into?
Well, I kind of
right. That's right. We're still sort of developing.
That's still being worked on, and we're working with the Vault Comics on stuff with that. So I don't want to say anything that's going to be changed.
Sure. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's right.
But I do know that Magni is an orphan, and as it stands, we have her as being raised by the barkeep.
Right.
So
of the Exiles Bar.
Of the Exiles Bar.
Right.
So if you see the screen that we're usually sitting in front of, if Eric goes back to it.
Sorry.
Taking forever. So yeah, this. Oh man, how does this? That.
Wait.
Exiles return. So that's where they all meet up before and after missions.
Right.
So yeah, the character, the barkeep in there is going to be kind of where they get their missions from.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till we get some imagery of the interior of the Exiles Bar.
Oh,
that'll be really
so
fun.
Exciting. Yeah, the Exiles Bar has been a place we've been really excited to explore more on the development side.
Yeah, they talked about, Dell's talked about having kind of the, what is it? The one in Deadpool as kind of an inspiration, and John Wick. These kind of.
I haven't seen John Wick yet.
You know what? I haven't either. And Eric is glaring at us.
Eric is giving us such an upset face for not having seen John Wick.
I'm waiting to be berated on here as well. What
chat.
is wrong with you? There it is.
I'm sorry, Major Chaos. There's just a
look, and it's people that haven't even talked before. They're like, I'm contributing.
I love it. Okay. I guess we need to make a salmon emote for our Twitch subscribers.
Salmon and a beard.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go straight to Dell and say we need a beard character. Yeah. Now, do we want it to be like Rip Van Winkle type, like just long beard, like where he lasses his grapple?
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Yeah.
We're gonna do a beard grapple. I'm no promises, but I'm gonna be pushing for this.
What? Our Borderlands producer is
shaking
mad
his
at
head
us
for John Wick. For the John Wick. Now they're all coming to the window staring at us. We need a non-windowed room.
No, I like this. I mean, I think...
Yes, ZZ Top, Billy Gibbons. We're going to ask Billy Gibbons if we can use his likeness as a beard lasso.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Just a super geriatric dude.
Beard man himself from last week.
Yeah.
So Dom. We'll just put Dom in the game.
Yeah, it'll just be Dom. And it'll just be like... Yeah, it'll be exactly like that. Oh, sorry, Eric.
Eric
I make noise,
like when we...
and Eric's like, I don't like it. Did I break everything, Eric?
Love the VGDA
sort of
shirt, Nathan.
Yeah, this is the club that got me into game production. So, anyway, sorry.
So that's how you got your start?
I Cal State Long Beach helped get this club up and running, VGDA, and did a lot of learning. Yep. Yeah, Dom. He has to, as an attack sound, like his cone.
His high laugh, like his really loud laugh that you can hear throughout the entire studio.
Weaponized beard, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, so the way Dom will get your attention is Dark Chicken. Is that you, Josh?
Caw-caw!
Is that you, Josh? All right. He'll just go caw, and like, but like the weirdest thing when he does that is that the person that he's trying to get the attention of is the only person who turns. Somehow he's modulated his voice so that only the subject is the intended recipient of the caca.
Even though he does it so the entire studio
the entire studio could hear, but you're like, that's not mine. That's not. It's weird. It's salmon. Someone has a salmon emote. Yes.
This is gonna be a really weird stream when we put it on YouTube, because you're not gonna be able to see the chat. And
no, we'll figure out how to put the chat on there.
Oh yeah, you said there's a way. Yeah. So we'll put the chat on there so that it's not as odd, because we're just suddenly talking about beards and salmon all the time with no context.
No context. Can I get a salmon in the chat, please? Thank you. All right. Yeah, but
So I was going to talk a little bit about next week.
Yes.
Next week we're going to have our animator on.
Brian Gilliam.
Gilliam.
Yeah, so he's a super talented animator, and he's really helped breathe a lot of life into our characters. And also, like, jeez, and also has helped the like he came in and he started providing a lot of insight into, well, when characters move, every action that they carry out should give you a story of. Eric's pulling up salmon gifs as well. Everyone, like every action that a character carries out needs to kind of evoke the story of who this character is, and that's one of the things that he's done for Drifters, and is really awesome. And so it's going to be really cool to hear about that. So
we'll interview. So if you have questions about animation in particular,
yes.
Think those up because he'll be on to answer questions, and then we're going to try and get some footage of him actually animating, so that's not just photos. Actually, see kind of more into his animation process.
Yeah, and if there are any like aspiring game devs in the chat, so I know there was a person who said they were like 15 in Pennsylvania who is probably looking to get into the game industry. But if you have any friends who are looking to get into animation, the upcoming stream would be really fantastic time to ask questions about animation and
how to get into it,
how to get into it, and how to be good at it, because he's real good.
He does not have a beard. I think that might be Brian himself. Brian does not have a beard. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
This is just evolving. I mean, look at this. Look at this chat. Like, look at what this has become.
I fully support it.
I mean, it has to go on to the YouTube upload because
otherwise everyone's going to be so lost.
And they're going to miss out on this bullshit. Whatever this is.
No. This chat, this is how you know that you're starting to make it in the Twitch sphere, because this is what the chat turns into. It's just who can spam emotes the hardest. So,
this is true. It's just not going fast enough.
Dom's missing out.
Dom is missing out. We'll make sure to send him the chat log.
Just an email transcript of the whole thing.
We won't show him this part. We'll just send him this.
Yeah. Well, Well, thank you very much, Captain Crispy. We are going to appreciate it.
Yes, the game will be fun, and eventually, I can't wait. Oh God, we're now in a salmon stream.
We're streaming a salmon stream.
There we go. We are streaming squared. Now I've forgotten my thought process. Toogie Toogies and George of the Jungle. So how's that going? Next week we have Brian. And it's gone. It's lost. The stream just fucked me up.
So for Alpaca Sandwich,
can you put a man with a beard behind the screen? Yeah. We got a man with a beard.
So for Alpaca Sandwich, we're really excited about using Drifters as an opportunity to just educate the aspiring game dev community in how this process works. We hope you can learn from our successes. We hope you can learn from are not so much success, and it's also just really a good opportunity for us to get to know you folks who hopefully will be playing the game, and we'll be playing alongside you, and we're really excited about that.
And hopefully in the coming weeks when we actually can start what.
Blind salmon games.
Blind salmon games.
All right, we know our April Fool's joke for next year.
In the coming weeks, when we're actually able to show you some of the play testing, it'll be really fun to get Nathan to do it, because Nathan kicks ass at it.
Well,
you haven't been on it for a while, so he's on another project. But
so I'll be
watching him play. It was just ridiculous, because when you get all the grappling and the traversal stuff with the jetpacks and you combine the two, it looks like.
Yeah,
it's pretty insane.
Yeah, well, that was the cool thing. That's been the really cool thing about this game is.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, please keep asking us questions.
So we're not floundering here, salmoning here.
Salmon.
Sorry.
Like Dom's gonna come in with a whole set of inside jokes. He's just like, "What is going on here?" That was a really cool thing. That's been really consistent about Drifters is, even though it's pretty easy to get into, like the skill ceiling of what you can pull off is high. So it's one of those cool things where, like, we think we've hit a really good balance of appealing to casual players and people like me who just want to get better and better and better and better and better.
Right.
And yeah, it's awesome. I don't know how much time we have.
We're pretty much out of time.
Okay, cool.
I will remind you guys, if you haven't gone on to driftersgame.com and signed up for the email list,
right.
do that. You'll get updates through there.
Please follow us on Twitch as well.
Yes, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We also have a Discord app now.
Yes.
Discord and
a Reddit
subreddit.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you if any of you guys that run those subreddit and Discord are on here.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Absolutely. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much for helping us build the community.
Yep.
And see-through shoes.
So see you next week, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Starwolf. Thank you so much, guys.